Hi, welcome to the Sew Along 2020 with GourmetQuilter with a very distinctly Australian theme. We're having a lot of fun with these fabrics by Nutex. They're Australian type prints, and we've already done quite a few blocks. We've got some very Australian looking blocks. Kangaroos are definitely Australian, and wombats, and we've got some gum nuts and things like that, and we've got some other wonderful fabrics with some of the Australian type pictures on them. So we're having a lovely time doing all these blocks. As I said, we're up to week 8, so quite amazing that we've got this far. So this time we've got another block, another patchwork block. We've been doing a little bit of applique for a couple of weeks. So we've got this nice star block, and up here behind me we've got the various stages of the star block. So this is the same as this one, it's all finished. So we need to make 12 of these this time. So this is one of the sort of main blocks in the quilt, so that's kind of nice to be getting onto things like that. So I thought I'd just show you initially how to make the little star that's in the center. It's not particularly hard, and if you're a patchworker you probably know about making little flying geese, but I'll just go through it anyway just so that you can be sure. So I've already started it here. We've got the square in the center, we've got the 2 little points out the side. To make the 2 little points we started with a rectangle and 2 squares. So I've just finger pressed these squares. They're only little because I need the diagonal marking, or you could mark them with a pencil, or you could just do it by eye. There's so many different ways. We're going to place them right sides together, and we want to stitch from this corner back to this diagonal corner here. So I'll go ahead and do that, and so you can chain piece these because there are quite a few to do. It's quite good to get everything set up and then just chain piece them through. So there's one done, and I'll put the next one through so that you can see what I mean, that they're quite good for chain piecing. And so there's 2 done already. So then we take that out, cut them apart, and then we just need to trim off the corner. We don't need the corner, it's very tiny, it's not worth trying to save it particularly, unless you do really tiny work. So I'm just cutting about 1/4 of an inch away from the seam, and then I'm just going to press that into the triangle. So it kind of looks like half a goose to me. I'm not sure why these are called flying geese units, but they are. And then we just need to do exactly the same thing, but we need to come up from the opposite corner there into the center. So because I don't really like starting sewing right on a point, because sometimes the machine doesn't like it, I end up putting them through this way so that I'm coming in where there's a little bit more fabric for the machine to grab hold of. So I'll just go ahead and we'll get this one stitched so that you can see all that. Again, chain piecing is a good option, so I'll just pop this one on as well. It's so much fun to see these blocks coming together. These fabrics are so delicious, the colours are just wonderful. These little, this little chartreusey one that I'm sewing on to make the star points has got little Australian birds and flowers and things all over it. It's just great. Okay, so we've got those on, and now same thing, we want to trim away the corner, and we want to press it, always pressing. Get such a nice result if you keep pressing as you go. It's worth doing. So now we've got the little flying geese, so we need 4 of these for each block. So I've already done the 2, I've put them on the center, and these will go on the sides here. However, they do need to have their corners put on first. So I don't really probably need to sew the corners on. I think you know how to do that. It was really just making sure you know how to make the unit. So the little squares go on the corner and it makes the block up like that. And so then we've got this block over here. Then after we've made the little center block, we're then just going to finish them off in the same way that we've done with these other ones with the different fabrics in the centre. So the block is the same size as the centre square is on these, and then the surround is exactly the same. The notes tell you all this, however I'm just telling you as well. So this was my block, then this one here has got the first surround on, this one's got the first and the second surround on, and this one has got the first, second and third surround on, and this one has got the little corners on. So this is what we're aiming for. We need to make 12 like this with all the surrounds and the corners on. And by the time you've done all that, I'll be back to show you part number 9.